Are you pregnant? Are you? Wait, did you just get 6 months pregnant?
This is what happens when someone like me watches a very sexy Beyonce video.
That is crazy. How do you know it's from watching the video?
Just check out this sonogram.
Hmm?
Okay. The Daily Show exploring the surprising effects of Beyonce on young women of color, at least according to Fox News host Bill O'Reilly. See, Bill's got a bone to pick with the chart-topping singer, and he laid it all out in the no-spin zone.
For young girls, especially those who do not have parental supervision, what Beyonce does could have a negative influence. She knows, this woman knows, that young girls getting pregnant in the African-American community now, it's about 70% out of wedlock. She knows and doesn't seem to care. She was born with a talent that gave her. She has made an enormous amount of money. She should be smart enough to know what she's doing now is harming some children.
Now, this wasn't the first time O'Reilly has criticized Beyonce. As much as he has a problem with her, he just keeps bringing her up.
She puts out a new album with a video that glorifies having sex in the back of a limousine. Teenage girls look up to Beyonce, particularly girls of color. She's an idol to them. I'm saying, why on earth would this woman do that? Why would she do it when she knows the devastation that unwanted pregnancies and fractured families? Why would Beyonce do that?
So Beyonce is responsible for the epidemic of teen pregnancy that the country is facing. Right. Never mind that teen pregnancy is at an all-time low. And the panel is back with me. Everybody's been waiting for this one. Aisha, I am going to start with you because I know you're a big fan.
Because I'm the biggest fan.
Because you were able to cite where you were when this album came out.
Yes.
But the thing is, I mean, I took issue with, I have a number of issues with what O'Reilly was talking about there, particularly because if you know anything about her story, which I would assume a lot of her fans do, she was with Jay-Z for a long time, then they got married, then they had a baby. Now, that's how the conservatives tell us we're supposed to be doing it, right?
Yeah, and if there's any, so there's a lot of things I can say, but the first thing is, in terms of being an influence on teenagers, who Beyonce was as a teenager was actually someone who was working her tail off to be who she is today. So if anything, she is an inspiration for 15, 16-year-old girls, is that if they work hard at what they love and if they use their talent, they can be somebody. Secondly, everything that you're saying is absolutely right. Bill O'Reilly is just, you know, completely off base about almost everything all the time. But if anything in the black community, Beyonce and Jay-Z are role models for, it's being a power couple, and it's really black love. She is a married woman who has a healthy relationship with her husband. In fact, in that video, it was actually her husband in the video in the back of the limo.
And most of the songs on the album are about love in the context of marriage.
About love in the context of marriage. And if he thinks that that's a bad thing, I mean, that's exactly, you know, what's wrong with the Republican Party. They're afraid of sex, right?
Well, I don't know. Well, I won't make that joke. So, Sophia, is it just, seriously, I mean, is it a matter, though, because, I mean, you know, you have a book coming out where you talk about woman code, and one of the things that strikes me, is it her sexuality that people have an issue with? Why is it that women, a powerful, strong woman, can't also be sexy?
Let's do a fact check on O'Reilly. First of all, 73% of black babies are born out of wedlock, and this problem has existed for a very, very long time. So I promise you, Mr. and Mrs. America, that Beyonce is not responsible for the teen pregnancy.
Yes, I can promise you that.
Which is at all-time low.
To O'Reilly's point that he bumbled badly, I think the point he was trying to make is here's a beautiful woman that young, particularly African-American girls look up to. Look, everybody knows Beyonce's big into the teen girls and helping and role models. She's in the Band Bossy campaign with Sheryl Sandberg. And so I get that. But I agree with you on this one 100% that she's talking about sex with her husband. And that's actually a positive thing that they're married. They had a baby in marriage. They waited. And she's talking about loving on her man. They've been married how long now? I don't know, but they still are hot for each other, which is a good thing.
That's a good lesson.
That's a good thing. And what I'm saying is that I think that you're right. They are role models. They are one of the wealthiest couples on Forbes. They are entrepreneurial. They went around the industry, dropped it on iTunes, and went to Walmart and did it themselves. And so I think they're teaching a lot of things. Yeah, it's risque. Yeah, the video's a little sexy. But if you know Jay-Z and you saw the Grammys, in the chair with the wet hair thing she did, Jay-Z. I mean, it works for her.
Kate, here's part of what I have with this, and it's not just the statistics that Bill O'Reilly was talking about. CDC recently came out with a study and basically found that one of the big problems is that young people don't know enough about birth control, right? And that if they have access to birth control, and literally this was a line in the study, before they have sex, it's more effective, obviously. But, the point is, formal sex education, only 6 in 10 learned about birth control and how to say no to sex. Communication with parents, only 4 in 10 learned about birth control and how to say and how to talk to their parents. So point being, I mean, it's not just, I don't think you can put it all on a gorgeous woman being sexy in a video, right, or on a magazine cover, when there are real problems here that are systemic, that are impacting what's happening with young girls.
Well, I think there's 2 things. I think young girls need to know about birth control and how to use it, but they also need to feel empowered to use it. And that's a big issue in relationships. And you can know about it, but you need to be able to say, look, we need to use birth control. Right. And if you look at someone like Beyonce, if you are, say, an older white male cable news host, the 2 things you should know about Beyonce are, if you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. And girls who run the world. I mean, those are probably the 2 things that you need to know. And so it's just absurd to blame Beyonce for this. And in reality, we do need to be having a bigger conversation about how to not only educate but empower young women.
Right. And Sophia, last word to you, because I do find that we're not talking about some of the other systemic things. There was a study done that said basically the combination of being poor and living in a more unequal and less mobile society contributes to a low perception of possible economic success, and hence choices that favor short-term satisfaction. In this case, the decision to have a baby while young and unmarried. I mean, I worked with teenage pregnant girls who literally didn't know they had another choice.
But Karen, it's deeper than it. We've talked about stuff like no role modeling. These girls aren't seeing a dad and a mom, and it's something that probably all of us grew up with seeing. So again, pop culture absolutely has an influence. It is family, it is a church culture, it is a work culture, it is a school culture, it is a village, as Hillary Clinton said. It takes a village to raise our girls and to empower them to make the right choices. It's a code.
And in this case, Beyonce and Jay-Z are absolutely showing that model of what a healthy, happy family looks like.
Okay, Bill, so we all agree you were wrong. But you can keep playing the video if you like. I want to thank my panel, Aisha Moody Mills, Kate Sheppard, and Sophia Nelson. And that does it for me. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to share your thoughts about Beyonce and Bill O'Reilly. You can find us